Before we begin the deconstruction of the modern labor market, I have 3 critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1. Are you currently competing against an algorithm for your job, or are you operating in a cognitive space that a machine mathematically cannot touch? Number 2. If your company automated 90% of its workforce tomorrow morning, would your specific role be part of the deleted mass or the highly compensated retained elite? Number 3. Do you view your un-automatable human intuition as a liability to be trained out, or as a premium luxury asset to be aggressively monetized? Let me know your answers. While everyone else in the global economy is rushing blindly to automate their entire workforce, the world's most powerful and lucrative companies are doing the exact opposite. They are quietly, ruthlessly purging algorithms from their executive suite to create a strictly air-gapped, human-only department. This isn't a nostalgic step backward into the analog age. It is the birth of a new elite tier of high-value artisans' corporate strategy. In the May 2026, the ultimate corporate flex isn't how much artificial intelligence you use, but how little of it touches your core business logic. High-end firms are now paying massive, unprecedented premiums for an unautomated intuition that machines simply cannot replicate. Discover exactly why being part of a human-only strategy hub is becoming the most prestigious and lucrative career move of the decade. Is your job being commoditized by automation, or is it becoming an elite luxury? We are witnessing a massive structural pivot where Tier 1 hubs are reclaiming biological human decision-making as a high-status artisan skill. Learn how these stubbornly manual departments are commanding the highest budget in the industry by leveraging the one thing the algorithm absolutely lacks: genuine, irrational human soul. If you are new to the channel, here is my intro. I'm Dr. HR, and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional, comforting advice, but as a structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a Master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders, I have mapped the exact physics of the market value. I understand what the machine can do, and more importantly, I know what the market will pay a premium not to automate. Before I completely deconstruct the commoditization of intelligence, expose the exact mechanics of a biological premium, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to position your career in the unautomatable elite, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop competing with the algorithm. It is time to become the luxury asset. Grab a notebook. We are going to engineer your exclusivity. Phase 1. The commoditization of intelligence, the Contrarian revelation. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating economic reality of a current AI landscape to understand why the human-only department even exists. To understand market value, you must understand the basic laws of supply and demand. In 2023 and 2024, deploying large language model LLMs and the autonomous agent was a massive competing advantage. It was rare, it was highly technical. If you could automate the logistical routing or your marketing copy, you possessed an asymmetrical moat against your competitor. But in May 2026, the frontier models had been aggressively open sourced. The cost of the raw computational intelligence has been driven down to the absolute fraction of a penny. Every single mediocre startup, every bloated legacy corporation, and every single average employee now possesses an AI co-pilot. When absolute, flawless, high-speed intelligence becomes free and ubiquitous, it completely ceases to be a competitive advantage. It becomes a baseline commodity. It becomes the new zero. If your entire professional value proposition is that you can use AI to write a strategic report 400% faster, you are in catastrophic danger. You are competing in a race to the bottom. You are a commodity broker selling water next to a fresh river. The corporation does not want to pay a premium for a human who just acts as an analog interface for a digital machine. This creates a massive void at an absolute apex of the corporate hierarchy. while the middle management layer are drowning in automated dashboards, synthesized data, and algorithmic predictability, the sovereign executive layer is experiencing a crisis of differentiation. If a global sovereign wealth fund and a competing private equity firm are both using the exact same $10 billion AI model to analyze a merger, they will arrive at the exact same algorithmic conclusion. If everyone follows the machine, there is a zero alpha. There is no strategic edge. This is a contrarian revelation. The world's most powerful companies realize that when algorithms run the entire lower and the middle operations, the only way to achieve true market-crushing alpha is to inject highly concentrated, un-automatable human variance at the very top. They're creating humans-only department not because they hate technology, but because biology is the only source of unpredictable, asymmetrical genius left on the board. Phase 2, the economic status symbol, the luxury of biology. To understand the financial mechanics behind the ship, we must look at the economics of the luxury market. We must understand why a biological decision is now considered a Veblen Good. A Veblen Good is a luxury item for which demand increases as the price increases, specifically because of its exclusive nature and status appeal. Consider the watch market. A $50 smartwatch is mathematically superior to a mechanical watch. It keeps perfect atomic time, tracks your biometric data, and connects to the global internet. Yet, Apex operator willingly pay $150,000 for a mechanical Patek Philippe or an Audemars Piguet. Why? Because a mechanical watch is unscalable. It requires an artisan. It requires hundreds of hours of painstaking biological human labor. The imperfection and the manual frictions are the product. The smartwatch is a commodity. The mechanical watch is a sovereign statement of absolute power and luxury. In the 2026 corporate ecosystem, the exact same psychology now applies to strategic decision making. When a Tier 1 corporation in Dubai International Finance Center (DIFC) pitches a multi-billion dirham acquisition to a sovereign wealth fund, the investors do not want to see a PowerPoint generated by Microsoft Copilot. They know what the algorithm says. The ultimate corporate flex, the absolute economic status symbol, is walking into the glass boardroom, putting the laptop away and stating, "This strategy was architected in an air-gapped room. No algorithms were consulted. This is a raw, unsynthesized, artisan biological intuition of our apex human operator." You're telling the investors that you are wealthy enough and powerful enough to afford the luxury of a human cognition. You're deploying the unautomated intuition that machines simply cannot replicate. High-end firms are now paying premium, 7-figure salaries to operators who can sit in these human-only hubs. These departments are intentionally shielded from the efficiency of the machine. They are not expected to be fast. They are expected to be profound. They are the corporate equivalent of an artisan watchmaker, meticulously crafting a unique, unreplicable strategy that shatters the predictable parameter of the algorithmic market. Phase 3, the new elite future forecast, the unautomated intuition. What exactly happens inside these humans-only department? What are these operators doing that an AI mathematically cannot do? We must deconstruct the concept of unautomated intuition. Algorithms are brilliant at processing rational data. They assume a perfectly logical world. They analyze historical precedents, run massive Monte Carlo simulation, and output the path of a highly statistical probability. But the highest echelon of the global businesses are not rational. They are deeply, violently biological. They are driven by massive egos, hidden geopolitical vendettas, irrational fears, and unpredictable human pride. Let us map a real-world high-stake collision. Imagine two massive tech conglomerates are attempting a merger. The financial algorithm states that a merger is a perfect 10 by 10 fit. The AI model predicts a 40% increase in the market share. The data is flawless. But at a negotiation table, the CEO of the target company is hesitating. An AI agent analyzing the video feed might detect hesitation and recommend offering a higher purchase price to close the deal. The apex human operator in the human-only department does not rely on the algorithm. The human looks across the table. They do not just see the data. They read the soul of the room. They realize the CEO isn't hesitating because of the money. The CEO is hesitating because the legacy is tied to the company name. They are biologically terrified of being forgotten post-merger. It is an irrational, ego-driven friction point that defies all financial logic. The human operator leans forward, closes the financial ledger, and offers the CEO permanent seat on the advisory board and the naming rights to the new philanthropic wing of a conglomerate. The deal closes instantly without spending an extra dirham of the capital. This is the power of the human-only hub. They leverage the one thing AI lacks, a genuine soul. They navigate the messy, irrational, unquantifiable nuances of a human ego. They deploy the authentic empathy as a weapon. They utilize high-stakes, unscripted charisma that cannot be generated by a neural network. Is your job being automated, or is it becoming an elite luxury? If your job relies on processing structured data, you are already obsolete. If your job relies on navigating unstructured human irrationality, you are the new elite. You are the artisan. Phase 4. Engineering the human-only hub, the quarantine protocol. If you are an executive or a founder, how do you actually build this elite tier within your organization? You cannot simply tell a team to stop using AI. The temptation of algorithmic efficiency is too high. You must engineer the physical and cultural isolation. You must deploy the quarantine protocol. To create a true human-only department, you must treat algorithmic assistants like a highly infectious biological contaminant. You must physically air-gap the strategic core of your company. Step 1. The sovereign space. You must build a physical environment that rejects the digital panopticon. These hubs are not open-plan offices filled with the glowing monitors. They are the acoustic-treated, heavily shielded environment. The Apex operator does not bring their smartphones into the room. There are no smart speakers. There are massive physical whiteboard. There is silence. The architecture is designed to force the human brain to slow down, exit the dopamine loop of instant digital gratification, and enter a state of deep, sustained cognitive friction. Step 2. The latency mandate. In the rest of your company, you utilize Lean Six Sigma to relentlessly eradicate latency. You want your supply chain and your automated HR onboarding running at the speed of the light. But in the human-only hub, you mandate latency. When a complex problem is introduced to the Artisan team, you do not allow them to solve it in 1 hour. You force them to sit with the problem. You demand high-friction, unassisted debate. You force them to experience the agonizing biological process of a synthesis without a search engine or an LLM to rescue them. The friction is the forge where the true, unpredictable alpha is manufactured. Step 3. The algorithmic adversary. The human-only department does not ignore the AI. They use it as a baseline to defeat. Once the human team has architected their Artisan strategy, they feed the initial problem into the company's most advanced AI agent. The AI spits out this highly logical, predictable solution. The human-only team that compares their Artisan strategy to the machine's output. If the human strategy is identical to the machine's strategy, the human team has failed. They have produced a commodity. The human strategy is the only approved when it fundamentally diverges from the algorithm, when it proves that it has achieved a level of asymmetrical, irrational brilliance that the machine could not anticipate. This is how you build a high-performance elite. You quarantine the talent, you enforce the biological friction, you demand deviation from the algorithmic mean. Phase 5. The sovereign artisan positioning your career. You have diagnosed the commoditization of intelligence. We have defined the Veblen Good of biological thought. We have mapped the un-automated intuition. And we have architected the quarantine protocol. The final phase is the most critical for your survival in the 2026 labor market. How do you pivot your personal career trajectory to ensure you are recruited into the human-only hub, rather than being deleted by the efficiency purge? You must position yourself as a sovereign artisan. You must fundamentally stop marketing yourself based on speed, efficiency, or technical data processing. If your LinkedIn profile highlights how fast you can build an Excel model or how seamlessly you can integrate an API, you are advertising yourself as a cheap biological robot. You must rewrite your entire professional narrative to highlight your un-automatable human friction. 1. Advertise the chaos. You must document the moment you navigated absolute irrational chaos. Do not highlight the project that went perfectly according to the plan. Highlight the project where the data was perfectly wrong, the client panicked, the execution board froze, And your sheer unscripted human intuition saved the multi-million dirham mandate. The market pays a premium for the operator who can navigate the dark, unmapped territories of the human emotion. 2. Broadcast high-fidelity biology. You cannot prove you have a soul through the text. Text is a zero-signal asset that AI can fake. You must broadcast your biological presence. You must step into your acoustic-treated studio. You deploy your elite Cineline gear, your Sony FX series camera with a razor-sharp cinematic lighting. You import your raw, unscripted strategic analysis and color grade it flawlessly using the advanced node-based architecture of DaVinci Resolve 20. You look directly into the lens and you speak. You do not use a teleprompter. You do not use an AI script. You let the market see the micro-expression on your face. You let them hear the unsynthesized cadence of your voice, the slight imperfections, the absolute undeniable conviction of your biological presence. When a CEO or an elite recruiter watches the broadcast, they instantly recognize the signature of a sovereign artisan. They recognize a human being whose cognitive power is raw, unassisted, and utterly unreplicable. They will not just ask you to join a team of middle managers processing the data, they will pull you into an air-gapped boardroom. They will hand you the highest salary in the corporate structure because you represent the final ultimate luxury in a world drowning in synthetic intelligence. Look closely at the skill you're currently trying to develop. Are you trying to become a faster typist? Are you trying to memorize more coding syntax? Are you trying to become a more efficient machine? The machine has already won that race. The algorithm is infinite. Stop trying to be a faster robot. Reclaim your biological asymmetry. Embrace the messy, irrational, unscalable friction of a human intuition. Architect your career as an artisan luxury. Step into the human-only hub and force the market to pay a massive premium for your soul. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.